What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Junkies Podcast, the real Sports Junkies Podcast. All right, let's make sure we're not forgetting. We're going to remind you every episode. But today we got an NFL segment to talk about. Do look forward to the NBA if you're an NBA fan. We haven't forgot about the NBA. The NBA will be coming later in the week, potentially on either Wednesday or most likely could be Friday. And we have not forgot about that 80 subscriber video. I'm trying to do something special for it, so be on the lookout for that. We want to give back to some of our subscribers who have been here from the jump as we get on this journey to 100 subs. We're like 14 away, so that's always great. And college football fans, I know we didn't upload on Friday, but do look forward to a college football video this week. If the NBA is not on Wednesday, then college football will be either Wednesday or we'll upload it on Friday, or maybe even over the weekend on like Saturday or Sunday or something. So look forward to that. Sorry we got off schedule. I know we've been off schedule a lot. I know the Instagram hasn't had a post in like 5 days, but we are trying to get on track with that. And we're going to start with this NFL topic today. Like I said, guys, we got some things to talk about. It's going to be interesting. And speaking of that Instagram, we have 86 subs, but only 29 followers. So let's even out those numbers, man. Send us a DM. Let us know you followed. And I don't know, maybe you might have some high chances of getting something in this giveaway. We want to give out maybe some jerseys, some cards. I mean, it's just going to be interesting, man. But today's topics are going to be pretty interesting. So today, Sam Darnold was traded to the Panthers for 3 picks. We'll talk about that. We'll go over that. I'll talk about how I'm feeling about that. The Bucs are reloading. As a matter of fact, they've already reloaded. They're not reloading. They reloaded. They got a full clip right now. And then we'll talk about the lawsuits situation for DeShaun Watson, because he's in a bit of a pickle right now. But let's start with Sam Darnold, because I feel like that's the biggest topic, and I feel like that'll be the meat of this video. I said earlier, or a few episodes back, I mentioned the Sam Darnold situation when I was talking about DeShaun Watson, and I said, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, we will see as we get closer to the draft, you're gonna start seeing a lot of players get moved around. And I said it depends when the draft ends. I said, look, we will know if someone's going to be on the team next season or not. And I said, look, because the draft is really like the last opportunity for a lot of players to get traded. And I was saying this about DeShaun Watson, because I'm like, look, if the draft ends and these guys are still on the team, when we talk about DeShaun Watson, when we talk about Sam Darnold himself, and then we talk about any other quarterback who was in a situation where they feel like they could be getting traded, if the draft ends and they're still on that team, they're gonna finish the season on that team. And then even Jimmy Garoppolo is another guy. But this happened. What are we? 3.5 weeks out from the NFL draft, and Sam Darnold's already been traded to the Panthers. I don't really like this trade. Okay. And I'm saying that if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm in love with this trade, because I'm like, well, we get Sam Darnold, a guy who I feel like really was left out to dry in New York. It's like he went to a team that was rebuilding when he first got there, and over the course of the while he was there, they were still rebuilding. I feel like Sam Darnold never really got a true opportunity to showcase his talent, and we've seen flashes of him, having talent. It's not like he's a bad quarterback. It's not like, he can't throw, because he can throw. It's not like he can't make plays, with his feet, because he can if he needed to. We've seen it. The problem is that New York got him absolutely no weapons. New York really didn't give him any offensive line besides Becton from this last season, who was exceptionally great. And I mean, who was his best wide receiver on that team? You know what I'm saying? What, Crabtree was it? I forgot who their best receiver was when I was watching them play the Patriots earlier this season. When I say earlier, I mean a long time ago. But it's like, I don't really like this trade. If I'm the Jets, I'm like, you trade who was supposed to be your franchise guy, and all you get for this year's draft is a 6th round pick. Now, who knows, that 6th round pick may turn into a GOAT offensive lineman, but I think, or maybe even a good player, and it's not even just offensive line, even though, we know the Jets need it desperately. I just don't see what value they plan to get out of that 6th pick. Now, that 6th pick could turn into a Hall of Famer. Who knows? I'm not going to diss the pick now, but you only get a 6th from this year. You don't get anything else. And if I'm the Jets, how is that actually benefiting our team? You have to look at it in this aspect, though. They pretty much get Zach Wilson, because this confirms it almost. We got Trevor Lawrence, who's going to go 1st overall. Zach Wilson has now been selected by the New York Jets. And third overall pick may be Justin Fields. But this pretty much confirms Zach Wilson, but I'm like, you get rid of Sam Darnold and you're going to bring Zach Wilson into the exact same situation that you just had Sam Darnold in. If you don't get him weapons, then none of this will work at all, actually. Zach Wilson will do the same thing. He will struggle a lot. The thing is that Zach Wilson is way more mobile than Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson is way more NFL prototype than Sam Darnold. Like, he's like a Russell Wilson type player when I look at him, and arm strength and the way he throws the ball, I could see a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in there too. Zach Wilson, like I said earlier when we had our quarterback rankings video and we ranked all the first round potential quarterbacks, I said Zach Wilson will be the best quarterback in this draft class, and I still stick by that statement after everything. His pro day was fantastic. He made some great throws. He looked exceptionally well, and I'm telling you right now, this guy's the future for this Jets team. But until they get some real talent around him, a decent enough offensive line, Zach Wilson will be the same way that Sam Darnold was. I don't see, Zach Wilson coming in and turning this team around. It's a good, step in the right direction, but I don't really think he's going to do what the Jets expect him to do. And you trade Sam Darnold, and if anything, they get a second round for next year and they get a fourth round pick for next year. I would have liked to see maybe a earlier round pick for this season instead of next year, because I'm like, well, next year they're going to be set when it comes to draft. They got a second and a fourth round pick. You might be able to get a good player in a fourth round of a draft. I mean, you got a good chance. It's not the best pick, but the fourth round, there's still some talent left, and you get a second round pick and there's going to be some talent left. And you're talking about the Panthers too. That's going to be a top 10 second round pick. So that for the next year they're set, but for this year I would have loved to see at least a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they could have got a second from it. It's Sam Darnold. It's not like it's a bench warmer quarterback. Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. And I think the Panthers definitely won this trade because they get a quarterback who could potentially lead this team. I don't know what this means for Teddy Bridgewater. We know they still got Christian McCaffrey, one of the top running backs in the league. The Panthers really don't have anything different working for them than the Jets do as well. The Panthers are also a bad team, but they got Christian McCaffrey who can make plays. The Panthers need to get weapons. The Panthers need to fix their offensive line, and maybe they'll have Sam Darnold looking better. But I'm like, Sam Darnold's pretty much in the same situation with the Panthers that he was with the Jets. I'm like, this isn't anything new. This isn't anything that's going to benefit Sam Darnold going forward. I think it's going to be real interesting because I just said the Panthers won the trade because I really feel like they did. I'm like, you get a quarterback. I don't know if I just said this too. I may be repeating myself, but you get a quarterback who can come in and play good football. Even though you got Teddy Bridgewater, it's not like having Teddy Bridgewater is a bad thing. I'm just curious, out of all the teams in the NFL that traded for a quarterback, I'm surprised it was the Panthers who Sam Darnold goes to, considering I didn't feel like the Panthers were really that desperate for a quarterback. To be honest, I feel like 50% of the league is desperate for a quarterback, and this is the draft. You know what I'm saying? If you get one of these first, I think every team that gets one of these first round quarterbacks will benefit from this draft. Every quarterback, there's like 5 I think that's projected to go in the first round. I even think Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond could be pretty good. Kellen Mond had a great pro day. I haven't seen Kyle Trask's pro day. I don't know if he has had his pro day yet, but Kyle Trask has had a great college season this last season. A lot of people say he was carried by Kyle Pitts, but I mean, he's going to go to a team and probably be a backup, and we'll see what his career, where his career heads for him. He really got Florida back on the map this season, and now that he's gone, it's going to be interesting to see how Florida continues. But this isn't college football. This is the New York Jets. So I think every team that drafts a quarterback this year will benefit from this draft. But Sam Darnold, I like the fact that he's gone from New York. I think I saw a tweet that said New York had a great Zoom call with Zach Wilson. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Zach Wilson's going to the Jets. This pretty much confirms it. There's no reason for the Jets to not take Zach Wilson. There's no reason for the Jets to draft Justin Fields. Zach Wilson is your guy. When I look at all the quarterbacks in this draft, I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Zach Wilson is the most complete NFL-ready quarterback in this year's draft, and I feel like If I had to draft one of these quarterbacks to be on my team that had no offensive, wide receiver weapons, that had a pretty lackluster offensive line, a complete rebuild type team, I would want my quarterback to be Zach Wilson, not Justin Fields, not Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson from BYU. That's what I want. And And that's going to bring us to the end of that Jets topic. Let's talk about the Bucs, man, because we talk about teams rebuilding, and the Bucs aren't rebuilding. The Bucs have reloaded. They pretty much brought back the entire team they just had, and you guys know how I feel about that Bucs team, man. The super team with Tom Brady at quarterback. It's too easy. It's like the thing that kills me with, super teams, and like, don't get me wrong, I feel like it sounds like I hate Tom Brady a lot when I talk, but I actually don't. I think the guy's the GOAT, greatest, football player to ever play the game, to ever play the sport, to ever pick up a football. I think Tom Brady's the best to ever do so. The things he's done for the NFL, when we talk about history, when we talk about instant classics, when we talk about, just pure greatness, Tom Brady is going to be at the top of almost all those boards. He's going to check all those boxes. The thing that's killing me right now is the fact that he's sitting in Tampa Bay on a super team. And this is what makes me hate the NBA. Is like right now you got the Nets, you got the Lakers, and then there's just everyone else who has no shot at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is how I'm feeling now with the Bucs and them like building this super team. And I know the Chiefs are doing the same. I don't like it for the Chiefs either, because it's like, do AFC teams really have a shot at getting to the Super Bowl when you've got the Chiefs running around here with a super team? And then they went out and spent how much money in free agency, signing offensive linemen, signing more defensive weapons, signing more offensive weapons. And then you got the Bucs re-signing every player they just re-signed. They pretty much got the same exact roster from last year, plus maybe a little bit, some added pieces. They might have lost one or two players, but they just brought back a lot of guys. And they still they had rookies who were just playing, I'm talking exceptionally well, and you got them coming back. This Bucs team is as stacked as it gets. And it's like, who stands a chance in the NFC? Who stands a chance? And I'm pausing because I want there to be an actual answer. Let me know in the comments if there's a team in the NFC that stands a chance against this Bucs team, because I know what people are thinking. Maybe the Saints just lost Drew Brees. Well, the Packers can't win the NFC Championship. I'm gonna tell you right now, this Bucs team it's not even like they're scary, because we know what they can do. We know what they can achieve. But when I look at the NFL right now, I'm looking at the Bucs and I'm looking at the Chiefs, and I don't think really. Well, I mean, the AFC. Don't get me wrong, the AFC is wide open. I feel like at this point, and I know that that kind of disengages what I just said, but it makes perfect sense. I feel like the Bills are getting better. I feel like the Browns are becoming exceptionally good at football, and a lot of people are sleeping on that right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, next season the Browns are gonna shock a lot of people, but I still feel like the Chiefs have like that higher stool, because the Bills didn't really eat in free agency the way I feel like they needed to. But don't get me wrong, they still got a great roster, and I feel like that roster will continue to improve, and Josh Allen will continue to improve. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. But when we look at the NFC, I don't see a team competing with the Bucs at this exact moment. The problem was the Bucs at one point this season were 7-5. They didn't lose again. Their last loss this season was against the Chiefs. They didn't lose a single game after that. And I'm telling you why. Beginning of the season, you get this new team. When you get a super team, it typically takes some time for them to warm up and win, right? That's the Bucs. The Bucs sucked for the first part of the season. They were terrible. And then that chemistry built, man. They just kept adding new pieces, players taking pay cuts to go to this team. And then all of a sudden, they're like the best team in football. They absolutely dominated. They did something to the Chiefs I didn't think was possible. And you can go back on the channel and watch me make my Super Bowl predictions. I have never been more wrong in my life. They absolutely dominated the Chiefs inside and out. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, that was a scary situation. And the thing is even when the Bucs were 7-5, I doubted this team. But I ain't gonna lie, I did start sweating when I saw them picking up chemistry and start ripping teams apart and getting their offense on track, and their defense was making plays. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got a problem. We have a problem. And then they struggle against the Redskins in the playoffs, and you're like, well, maybe they're not that great. And then they win the Super Bowl. So I'm telling you right now, I will not sleep on this Bucs team. I'm expecting them actually to go back to the Super Bowl and play the Chiefs again. I'm already going to make my early prediction. We're going to see part 2. Honestly, I think the Chiefs will maybe take this one. Actually, let me not say that, because I don't want the Bucs fans to go a little crazy. I think the Chiefs got an offensive line now. So I don't think it'll be that easy for the Bucs, but this Bucs defense is different, man. And it's going to be fun to watch these two teams next season. But I'm telling you, Chiefs, Bucs are teams you want to look at, and the Bucs have reloaded. and even gotten a little bit better. And I feel like right now the Bucs are really the only team capable of beating the Chiefs. If we being realistic, the Bucs have that super team. They got all those players. I don't know if they're bringing back Antonio Brown. I don't know if there's like offensively, I don't know how much they're reloading or getting better at offense. I know defensive wise, they've pretty much brought back their entire defense. The offensive side of the ball, I'm not sure. I have no idea. But I know for sure that defense has reloaded already and it's ready to fire. That offense, I have no idea. But that's really all I got to say about the Bucs, man. Be on the lookout for them. Actually, we're already on the lookout considering they just won a Super Bowl 2 months ago. So let's move on from that and talk about teams, potentially actually reloading, trying to get better. And when you're in Houston, Texas, that's impossible. DeShaun Watson is in a pickle right now, and he's been trying to get traded for a while. The way he could actually get released, if we're being realistic. But I don't think the Texans are that stupid. He has 22 lawsuits against him right now. And when it first started happening, I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe. And even now, I'm not really paying too much attention to it. I don't even know what the lawsuits are. I know some of them are sexual assault. I think one of them's for like some fighting or something like that. I don't know what the lawsuits are. But if I'm an NFL GM, I have to start taking notice of that because that is a bit scary. And oh, Jesus, I just pulled up the basketball national championship, and Gonzaga is getting absolutely clobbered at 16-4. But it's a scary situation when we talk about DeShaun Watson, because if I'm a GM, I'm looking and I'm like, do I want this guy on my team? How long is this going to go? Can he, clear his name? Can he do this? Can he do that? And it's kind of honestly, to be honest with you, if I'm a GM, actually, let me say, I'm gonna smile a little bit because I'm like, this may lower his trade value. Who knows? But with these lawsuits, it's really gonna make it kind of harder to trade DeShaun Watson. With all the lawsuits he has, it's gonna make it harder because I'm like, you got to be careful when you make trades for guys like this. Just like when the Raiders traded for Antonio Brown, or it's like you got to be careful when you make trades. John Gruden thought he could get Antonio Brown and he thought he could clean him up. You cannot do that. I'm like, Mike Tomlin was really the only guy that could really contain Antonio Brown. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's impossible because obviously he did it with the Buccaneers. But that was Antonio Brown's entire. Antonio Brown was ring chasing. He never cared about getting traded from the Steelers. He wanted to get traded to a contender. That didn't happen, so he continued to goof around. He continued to goof around until he got with the Patriots. Then the Patriots had to release him because of the lawsuits, and then he signed with the Bucs. And obviously, he's going to be quiet because he doesn't want to get out of hand on the team that he was on. So it's like it's one of those situations. But I'm like, I don't think Deshaun's doing this on that doesn't make sense because I don't think Deshaun's doing it on purpose. But these lawsuits are very, very questionable when I talk about DeShaun Watson because I'm not taking it too. Actually, I shouldn't even say I'm not going to take it serious. It's 22 lawsuits, dude. 22 lawsuits since March 16th, under a month. He's got 22 lawsuits. 22. And one of them was like a massage where it said like he grabbed her butt or something like while getting a massage. And like he was hard. He was horny when he did it. I'm sorry, it's so stupid, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, DeShaun Watson, you got to be better than that. I don't want to go too deep into this topic though, because I don't know, it's kind of serious. So I'll just say what I've said so far, and I think that these could affect DeShaun Watson's trade value long term, and maybe teams might be able to get him for even cheaper. But if I'm the Texans, I'm not letting these, get me off or take me away from the fact that it's still DeShaun Watson. This is a franchise quarterback, and he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We're talking about a top 5 quarterback in the league right now in DeShaun Watson. And if I still want him on my team, I'm gonna get him on my team. But at this rate, I mean, he could be released. But if I'm the Texans, I'm not releasing him. If anything, he'll be playing on my team next season, and I'll wait till all this boils over, and then I'm gonna trade him instantly. But I kind of want to trade him before this draft because there's a lot of talent in this draft, and if I can get some picks in this year's draft for DeShaun Watson, that'd be great. Because next year is great. It's going to be a great draft class, but it's not going to be as great. So if I'm trading DeShaun Watson, I want to trade him this season during the draft, or actually maybe a week before. But let's see where these cases go because once again, there's 22. And they sound pretty serious, but I'll let the court handle that. I'm not a judge, so I don't really have a say on it. But this has been the Sports Junkies Podcast. Once again, the real Sports Junkies Podcast. Our Instagram has 29 followers, but we have 86 subscribers. So let's even out those numbers. Let's get to 100. We're 14 subs away. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking. This has been your boy Kid. See you soon, like really soon. Don't forget, we got NBA and college football. So yes, we will see you very soon. Peace.